I hope you haven't forgotten it's still Christmas. Still Christmas. So, when does Christmas end?
Officially February, the church is here.
Pardon?
Officially February, the church is here. We can carry on. We don't.
Well, it's the last day of Christmas today, because tomorrow is the feast of
The Magi.
Yes, the Magi.
12th night.
Yes, and actually tomorrow has two names. I wonder if anybody knows the other name. It is Epiphany, but what's the other name? It's also known as Three Kings Day. Strange, really, because nowhere in the Bible does it talk of any kings coming to see Jesus. Matthew's the only one who mentions it, and he doesn't call them kings. I don't think he'd use the word Magi if they were kings, but still. It's also very, very unlikely that three men, assuming they are men, it doesn't actually say, does it, would trek across the desert for about 2,000 miles, carrying three of the most valuable gifts they could, safely to see Jesus. The chances are they'd never have made it. So, why do we talk of three? So, three gifts are mentioned, aren't they? And what's the significance of the three gifts? In this carol there, we hear all about the significance of gold for a king, and frankincense and myrrh, and all about the life of Jesus in the future. But is that really the reason? Because gold, frankincense and myrrh at that time were three of the most valuable gifts you could find. Really, really expensive. We don't think of frankincense and myrrh as being that expensive today, but they were ultra expensive in those days. So for three men to have these gifts, they must have been something special. They weren't just ordinary folk. And if you were something special, you didn't go about travelling across the desert on your own. You had a group with you. You went on a train, a camel train. First of all for protection, because it wasn't very safe. I mean, there were loads of nomadic people wandering around in the desert, all looking for someone to prey on, if they could. And if you were carrying gold, frankincense and myrrh, just think what you'd get if you sold them. It just wasn't safe. So, there must have been a lot of them. Not just the Magi themselves, but their protection and their servants. The other thing that supports that is, could you imagine three folk turning up at Buckingham Palace, having trekked through the desert, looking very bedraggled, because he wouldn't look very good after that journey, and knocking on the door at Buckingham Palace, and the king saying, "Oh, come in, nice to see you." You wouldn't get past the guards. So there was something about the Magi that worried Herod. Something that he realised there was some truth in what they were saying. Now there are two reasons for this. First of all, the gifts they were carrying. After all, you don't go giving away gifts of that value to any Tom, Dick or Harry. And the other thing about the gifts is that it was common practice for gifts like that to be given by diplomats to a king or ruler they were trying to curry favour with. So it was a really serious thing. Also, Herod didn't live in the most stable of times. And just like when we hear about Henry VIII killing off people for plotting against him, Herod was doing the same thing. And any whiff of a rebellion, he took very seriously and stamped on it straight away. So he would have listened to the Magi, get his experts to check their evidence. Oh, it looks real. Yeah, when we look through the scriptures, what they're saying seems to be correct. So I think I better get rid of this so-called king. Yeah, we'll spin him a line, tell them how pleased we are to hear about him and that we want to look after him and be nice to him and make sure he gets a good start in life. Whereas in real life, we'll chop his head off or something like that. So, the story is not really about three kings. The story is about three or more very important emissaries coming across, possibly from the southern tip of Saudi Arabia. One reason for that is that you could get gold there, you could get frankincense there, and you could get myrrh there. It was the source of all those things. And that was about 2,000 miles away. So you don't go doing a walk like that without a lot of thought and protection. Now, the other bit that was more common that we know about tomorrow is that it's Epiphany, the festival of light. Light's important because it was light that led the Magi to Jesus, the light of the star. And you know, light is mentioned a lot of times in the Bible. Now you can look at me and say, oh, I bet he didn't count them up. And you'd be right, because Bible Gateway counts them up for you. And it said 262 times light is mentioned. They don't mention things in the Bible unless they're important, do they? And when you look in Genesis, what's the important thing that started off creation? Well, it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, but they were formless. And what revealed them? What? Because it talks about what happened on the first day, the second day, the third day, the fourth day, the fifth day, the sixth day, and the seventh day. But if it was all dark and without form, you can't have a day, can you? So, what was the important thing to get the process going? Light. Right? You often hear they talk about the Big Bang Theory, don't they? Those who say, or would we think we've worked it out? Well, have you been there on firework night? What do you get with the Big Bang?
Light.
Light. It could have been a Big Bang, couldn't it? When God created light, it could have been a Big Bang. Who knows? I wasn't there. We weren't there, and the scientists weren't there either. But it's light that begins the process. Light that reveals. I'll read the bit of Genesis. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. We have to have light, don't we? At night, we need to shine our light to show us the way. If we have a torch to light the way, we can help others to see the way forward, to find our destination. Now, I've said about the number of times light is mentioned in the Bible, and usually it's in reference to God or Jesus, but not always. Sometimes it refers to us. Matthew 5:14-16. You, me as well, all of you, are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Fairly high up in Braintree, aren't we here? With our little building. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. Now, here's the important bit. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Now, I'm going to do something I've done before, but it was in a true direction slot. If I can keep my hand steady enough.
Speak up a bit.
Need one of the children to do it for you.
Damn matches.
Maybe you don't.
Down, just oh dear. Has anybody got a light?
No. Do you want me to have a go?
Can't get anything to light. Yeah. Well, it isn't, yeah. They're a bit old. They're a bit old. Oh, well done. So you need an expert.
Borrow me.
Thank you. That's it. Right. Right, so it says, put it on a stand. Right? Or you might keep it inside you and put it under the bowl. The thing is, there's a story in Genesis chapter 19. I don't know whether, I I cheated, I looked it up this morning, but I don't know whether anybody else knows what the story is in Genesis chapter 19. It's all about the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. Oh, still going. Right. The thing is, what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah was, in effect, the light went out. And there are places in the world where, where there's no light. You can't see the light. What did God say to Lot in Sodom and Gomorrah?
Flee.
Get out, he said, yes. Run for it. It's too dangerous a place. It's too evil. It's got to go. Well, if we let the light go out, in Braintree, Sodom and Gomorrah can be the result. I don't think it's going to go out, but it did, yes. See? The light has gone out. And the light could go out here. That's the serious point. And what keeps the light from going out? What keeps the light from going out?
Holy Spirit. God. Us.
Us.
Yeah.
Because we are the light. And we need to shine our light. Shine it brightly. Just the same as it said in Matthew. Just the same. Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. The Bible says we're not just expected to be Christians. We're expected to shine like Christians. Shine like Jesus. Because if you go out into space, there is light, because the stars are shining, the light travels through to us, the light of the sun travels through to us, but you can't see it. What do you need to show the light up? Reflection is what you need. The light shows up when it hits the world. It doesn't show up when it travels through space. You need reflection. And the light of Jesus needs our reflection. We have to reflect it. There's an expression about carrying a torch for someone. We need to carry our torch for Jesus. So, if you've got a light, put it on. If you haven't got a light, I thought that. So I need someone to give lights out. You'll find there's a little switch under each one, and you can turn it on. so everybody can have a light. And we'll go back to our Old Testament reading, which said, right at the beginning, "Arise, shine, your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." So let your light shine. Hold it high as we stand to sing "This Little Light of Mine." Right, so have a seat. So, people should not have to ask if we're Christians. They should be able to see it. It should be that obvious. You have the light of Jesus inside you. Don't keep it hidden away. Let the radiance of Jesus shine out from you today and every day. Thank you.